Ladies and gentlemen, would the Education Committee please come to order? I'd like to ask Representative Tanner if he would please open our meeting with the word of prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our gracious God, thank you for this day you've given us. Thank you for the many blessings in our personal lives, God, and in our collective lives, Lord. Bless this meeting that we're about to have, God, that everything might be done that would be pleasing unto you. Bless us with traveling mercies home. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right, we're going to try to move this thing on because I know everybody's tired and want to move. But first of all, if you look in your folders, I'd like for you to look at the second page, I think it is. There's an invitation to our dinner, which is Wednesday, is March the 4th. That's, what is that, Tuesday, next Tuesday. And it's going to be at, if y'all, it's Davio's, I think, and it's a, if you went there last year, it was really nice. We're going to have it with, I think they're inviting some of the Senate members also. 6 o'clock. Please contact Sheena and let her know RSVP to her because we need to let them know. But we want to. It's going to be a nice occasion, and you see who down there who's sponsoring it for us. So let us know, and we get that done. Also, Mike, at this time, I think we have some bills that are coming through. So if you would go ahead and sign on your bills. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have House Bill 18 by Representative Waits related to Braille literacy rights. That's going to be hearing only in academic support. House Bill 18, hearing only.
All right, that'll be yours, right, Randy?
Yep.
Representative Nix.
18.
And
Yes,
talk to me about that one because I want to invite the PSC, and there's a couple of publishers I want to invite to that meeting, so please get with me on that one. That'd be all right.
Also, House Bill 1055. 1055, Representative Alexander, the Child Safety Emergency Preparedness Act. That's also a hearing only, no vote, academic support for you, Randy. 1055. Have some Senate bills coming now, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Senate Bill 283 by Senator Dugan, not Dudgeon, Dugan. This is relating to providing instruction on the history of traditional winter celebrations. And that will go to academic achievement and curriculum. Senate Bill 283. A bill by Senator Tippin, Senate Bill 356, Georgians of Great Character Month, declare September. That's also academic achievement and curriculum. Senate Bill 356. Senate Bill 343 by Senator Mullis relating to the Georgia High School Athletic Association's Board of Directors. Senate Bill 343. Senator Mullis, academic support. And Senate Bill 167 relating to the Common Core will be assigned to the full committee, Mr. Chairman. I believe you said we will hear that next Wednesday in full committee. And
I want to encourage everyone to please be here. And I want to thank those of you who picked up your materials to really look at that bill. And I encourage you to look at it. We'll be hearing that in full committee, and we'll have a full 2 hour, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hour meeting on that. So I encourage you all to. And tell all your friends the people that are not here tonight, please be here. That's going to be a very important meeting to be at. Okay. Now, anything else?
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
That's all. Okay. Does anyone on the committee have any questions before we start? Okay. Do we have anybody new the first time you've been here in the audience? Okay. I see everybody. I see familiar faces, so we're ready to get started. I know we have one who has a function that he must attend. So, Representative. Lindsay, if you'll come on forward and present your bill. Do you want to stay there, or you would rather come to the podium? Probably come on up to the podium where let's all get a good look at you.
It's kind of scary, Mr. Chairman. I've only been on this committee for 10 years, but somebody still wants to go look at. House Bill 964, Mr. Chairman, is a tweak to the charter school legislation that we have already passed in Georgia. Basically, it will enable local municipalities and businesses to partner with the creation and the ongoing operation of charter schools. Section 1 simply sets out the legislative purpose behind doing so in terms of encouraging such partnerships to take place. Section 2 of the bill, and I've worked with Representative Dudgeons on this issue, basically takes his, Representative, I'm at this point in the General Assembly, I can't remember the phone number, 897, takes the language from 897 regarding different entities that can be, rather individuals and students who can be part of a charter school lottery, and simply adds at the very end everything that's in Representative Dudgeon's bill is in this bill until line 62, rather 60, yeah, 62, which includes allowing for designated slots for employees of a business that partners with the creation of a charter school, and also with residents of a particular municipality that partners with a charter school. The remainder of the bill also goes into the mechanism for the creation of the charter with the State Charter Commission. That's essentially it, Mr. Chairman. I believe I've stayed within 2 minutes. This bill, in case, just one other addition I want to point out, this is not something that hasn't ever been tried before. This is something that has been very much part of Florida's charter schools law for over a decade. Since it's approximately 2000, it's been an extremely successful program in that state, and we simply want to see Georgia also benefit from this kind of partnerships and cooperation.
All right, do you have any questions from the committee? This came out of Representative Clark's subcommittee. She's not here. Is her vice chair here? Yes, Representative Morgan. What was the recommendation from the sub? What's your number? What? 2. Okay. What was the recommendation from the subcommittee?
Do pass, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any major discussion or comments from the committee?
There was a concern about Representative Dudgeon's bill, but it sounds like it was addressed.
Okay. All right. Any questions from the committee? Number 25. Raise them. Who is that? All right. Representative Dixon. All right.
Couple of things. In Section 3, if I read it correctly,
Yes, sir.
the application for a charter school in the workplace and a charter school in a municipality both are initially to the state commission.
Yes, sir.
With only for information purposes to a local board of education.
Yes, sir.
Given that the funding for a charter school that is successfully approved by a local charter or by a local school system would be more beneficial for that charter, why in the world would we bypass that?
Because in both situations you may very well have situations in which the children come from outside of any particular school zone. For that reason, that's why we have it there. Certainly am open to the possibility, and I'll be happy to work on that further in the Senate. Should we allow a dual track option, I don't have any objections to that, and I'll be more than willing to consider that in the Senate.
You can do it here. All right. All right. Any other questions? That you got another one?
One more.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Can you elaborate just a little more on charter school in the workplace?
Yeah. This has been something that's actually been extremely successful in Florida. You've got both in terms of economic development and also helping out in particular depressed areas in which businesses wish to relocate to a particular area. They have a large number of employees who would like to have their children attend a school nearby, and this basically enables creating a quality school in that particular area. It's all, in addition to urban areas, it's also been very successful in terms of an economic development tool in more rural areas in terms of attracting businesses into a particular rural area.
Can you give me a couple of specific examples?
Well, the one a specific example took place involving a hospital in Florida. We went through this in the full committee. Do you have the particular? I think it was in Dade County in Florida, dealing with a hospital that had a charter in a workplace situation. One thing that I want to emphasize is that while there may be a certain number of designated slots for the employer doesn't get to pick who gets to be in those, gets to go through the lottery. Everyone from someone who is sweeping the floor to the CEO, children, all are on the same level playing field in terms of applying for the charter.
And a hospital had enough kids to run a manageable school.
Not exclusively, no, sir. And these charter in the workplace situations aren't entirely made up of children in the workplace. They are, however, schools that the business will assist in creating and maintaining, but usually a vast majority of the children are still children from the particular area in which the charter school exists.
You're saying they'll take applications from all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question, Reverend Dixon? Does that get your question?
Yeah, I mean, I just have to say, I don't think I can vote for something that doesn't first go to the local Board of Education, though.
All right. I have two more questions. Representative Dudgeon, you're next, and then Representative Maxwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry I missed the bulk of the subcommittee hearing because I was on rules. But charter school and municipality, I mean, do we need that? Was it something preventing in the current charter law that would, or procedures would disallow doing that today? In other words, what? And I'm still trying to, I mean, if they can specify a city attendance zone today, so I'm trying to think what's the difference between a charter municipality and just a charter where the city of Marietta is the attendance zone?
Well, Marietta has its own separate school
Yeah, I know.
system.
It's a bad example.
But the example is basically this is an added incentive for the municipality to be able to be willing to come in and provide, for instance, a location and also provide a capital for it to set up is to designate a certain number of slots to that particular municipality.
Okay.
It's an added incentive over and above what we already have.
Okay.
Did I get yours?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Representative Maxwell.
Well, that's pretty much the same question I had, and repeat that answer for me. I didn't understand the answer you got. I don't understand it.
We do not have a specific law right now that allows for designated slots to go to that particular municipality in the law as it presently stands.
But if they're residents of that municipality,
yeah,
they've still got the same option of anybody else of getting their students in there. They just got to go through the pure lottery, right?
Yes, sir, they do. But if the municipality, let's just say the municipality wishes to be more involved, but they don't have enough students in that particular municipality to create a particular attendance zone, that still the children within that municipality would have a certain number of designated slots, and the rest of the slots will be left open to children outside the municipality. This simply clarifies what can be done. Do you follow me?
Well, it sounds like we're just creating a little caveat for that municipality so they can get a slot or a group of kids in there. I mean, if they're in the attendance zone, so you're saying it could be a split city, municipality, and part of the students are slated in one district, part are in another district.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to take the whole district or whole municipality and allow them to be slotted, or a certain number of students to be slotted into the charter school in that municipality.
In return for the municipality assisting in the creation and ongoing operation of the school, yes, sir.
Okay, so we're just sort of carving out again.
If y'all please allow the chair, I got an email, and I've had some email conversation with Bonnie. If you could come up to the, because I wanted to talk with you, and I haven't had a chance all day. I've tried, but it's my fault. So, but I knew you'd be. So if you come to the podium and just, I'd like you to comment based on what I've heard, and I'm taking the chair's privilege to do this. So if you make some comments.
Thank you.
Tell everyone who you are, where they'll know.
I'm Bonnie Holliday, the Executive Director of the State Charter Schools Commission. And I shared this feedback with the authors of the bill and with the chair and the vice chair. And we share the concern about not going to the local district first, especially for charter, because both of these are so focused on a specific place and the way a business, for instance, might impact a specific place. So we would hate to not give a local municipality an opportunity to partner with a business in their local district. We know that some districts are more reluctant than others to approve charter schools. I'm not going to say that's not a reality, but I would hate to not even give them the option. You know, the commission is here as partly as an appellate court for when applicants aren't given a fair shake. So we share that concern. Our issue with charter schools in a municipality, we think that Representative Dudgeon already made an allowance within the Title 20 cleanup that has similar intent and would accomplish the very same thing, because we've added an enrollment priority for charter schools, both locally approved charter schools and state charter schools in Title 20 cleanup, that would allow an enrollment preference for students in a political subdivision, and you know that includes but isn't limited to a municipality or a city. So I'm not really sure. It seems to me if we have an enrollment priority that allows preference for students in a political subdivision and a preference for charter schools in a municipality, that's two enrollment priorities that do the exact same thing. I'm not even sure how we would work with that administratively. So those are our main concerns. Of course, we always ask that open enrollment issues and enrollment priorities remain the same for locally approved schools and state schools, because when we start making additional enrollment priorities for state charter schools, it makes us a little vulnerable because it makes us look more exclusionary, and it opens us up to criticism that we're carving out private schools to be funded with public money. Our one concern, we agree with Representative Lindsay that there is an important place for business, the business community to partner with the education community, and we really want to continue that conversation. Our concern in this particular bill is we would have Home Depot schools, or we would have Lockheed schools, where it wouldn't just be a portion of the kids that would be given preference to attend that school. It would be an entire school that would only be children of Home Depot employees, for instance. And when we talk about schools of choice, I think we generally talk about them in a different spirit than that, because that is arguably a little bit exclusionary in that it would actually prohibit some students from getting into the school. So those are our thoughts on the bill.
I have a couple of questions. All right, Representative Dudgeon, do you have one?
Under the current law, would Acme Corporation be able to sponsor a charter school and give would not be able to give enrollment preferences to their employees, right? In other words, under current law, Acme Corporation can certainly start a charter school, but they wouldn't be able to give preference to their employees. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Representative Lindsay.
Yeah, thank you. First off, Bonnie, while you did send a memo that I was forwarded to me yesterday, you've not made any attempts to actually come and talk to me, have you?
Well, when we
Have you made any attempts to come and talk to me?
No, sir. When the bill was dropped, we sent a memo to you and the other authors of the bill, as well as the vice chair and the chair.
I got the memo yesterday.
Would you repeat that again? All of us didn't hear that.
I got the memo yesterday. And you made no attempts to contact me. Now, in regards, but beyond that, let's sort of deal now with the merits of the situation. I hope you afford other representatives more courtesy in the future. Now, in regards to your concerns about going first through the local system, would striking Section 3 deal with that, in that if we struck Section 3 but we maintained the rest of them, would that mean that the charter would start with the locals and then go to the state?
You mean lines 103, Edward?
Yeah.
103 to 103.
Section
Not
3.
the whole Section 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 103. Yeah, I would defer to legislative counsel on what the wording would actually need to be, but anything that would make it clear that a concurrent submission, not just for informational purposes, but for the way the commission works for schools with defined attendance zones, is they have to actually be denied by the local board before we can take action. So anything that clarifies that,
I believe if we struck Section 3, that would deal with that concern, and then we could have them start with the local, and then they could appeal to the state. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. In regards to your concerns about the workplace situation, that would be included within the charter, and then the local, either the local school board now or the state charter commission. And I agree with you. I'm not looking for 100% workplace. The reason we didn't put a percentage in there is that we believed that it would be best for the charter applicants and the either local school system now or the state charter commission would be better trying to fix what percentage would be appropriate for the workplace rather than coming up. Do you believe that the local school system and the charter commission should have that flexibility, or do you think that we should have a specific percentage?
I don't know that it has to be a specific percentage, as long as it says that it may be capped, depending on what's appropriate or is deemed by the authorizer, whether it's the local or the commission.
Well, I think inherent within the power of either the local school board or the state charter commission, within their inherent power, they could cap that, correct?
We could do it administratively. However,
Well, you do it,
our general counsel's here. Could we do it administratively?
Yes, but it's always helpful to have that understanding rather than trying to read it. So.
but you do have that inherent power to figure out what percentage, correct? Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? All right, thank you for coming by. All right, Representative Lindsay will give you the last comment before we see if there are any other questions, or you can just do that from your seat if you'd like.
I do believe that the comments raised by Representative Dixon, Chairman Dixon, are well placed in regards to starting with the local school system and using, and so I would be very open to an amendment to strike lines 104 through 107 in order to make sure that that takes place. I do believe, however, that that a cap put into the law would simply limit the flexibility of either of the authorizers, whether it be a local school board or a state charter commission. So I would prefer not to have any type of fixed percentage put into the law. As a matter of fact, I'll make the motion for the amendment on 103 through 106.
Make that into a motion. Courtney, are you getting all this down? Pardon? No, it can't. Well, we know it can't be changed today.
Oh.
We have to give it Betsy because it
Five.
passed. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
But
We
what
can't
is
make
your
changes today anyway, so that's
Yeah.
not a problem.
all right? Make your. What is your recommendation, Representative?
That I follow Representative Chairman Dixon's concerns, lines 103 through 106. Strike
103 through 106. Strike them.
that.
Right.
Strike that, in
And
which you would
renumber.
also renumber
Yeah.
back 107.
Yeah.
You renumber that back to number 3.
That would be number 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll second that.
I have a second. Everybody see that? All right. That's one amendment. All right. Do we have any other amendments? Recommendations for amendments? All right. Representative Maxwell.
I'm still a little
Courtney, you
unclear.
have that down, don't you? All right.
I'm still a
You have
little
it.
unclear about the municipality area here, because the lady testified that we had something in our major cleanup bill today about, and I can't remember the exact wording about, Mike, can you help me out with that? Something about the political subdivisions, I think she called it.
I can help you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, what we did,
Oh, I got you.
Mr. Chairman, what we did is we took the exact language from 897 related to political subdivisions and put it in Representative Lindsay's bill. And all he did is just add a couple things to the bottom, so there's no conflict anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
I have one amendment here right now. That's it. So at this time, I have a motion from Representative Lindsay on the amendment. And that the amendment is, where everyone knows, on page 4 of LC 335598S, it's to strike lines 103 through 106, and then to renumber starting 107 be 103. Is that correct and on? Is that correct? I have a second, Representative Dudgeons. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Where? No, we're voting the amendment, just the amendment. We're voting the amendment now, just the amendment. 'Cause no, well, that's what I said, but we don't have to, but I'm taking it to be sure. Anybody wanna object? Anybody object to the amendment? All right, it's done, okay? Now, we're going to the bill. I gotta have a motion. Do I have a motion to what to do with the bill? I have a motion that's, House Bill LC 335598S do pass as amended. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Representative Dudgeons. All right, all in favor? Any other discussion? Any other discussion? All right, then I'm going to take a hand vote. All in favor of LC 335598S as amended, please indicate by raising your hand. Raise your hand. Count them, Courtney. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What you got? 7. All opposed, raise your hand. All right, 7-4. The bill, it passes. All right, okay. Of course, the House is closed. It'll be moved there early Monday morning, and you know how it. No. Yeah, a window, small window, small window. What? Sir?
We're in recess till 7.
Oh, not recess till 7, so Courtney, we can't get the amendment, though. See, we can't get the amendment. We can't get the amendment. That's what you heard Courtney say. We can't get the amendment.
I fully well understand that we are way out there on the.
Yeah. I know we've got time, guy, but we can't get the Betsy's, we can't get the amendment. We'll try. Courtney will get it right over there.
Thank you, Mr.
All right, next bill we're taking up is House Bill 1006. What was the recommendation on that one, Representative Morgan?
A unanimous do pass.
Okay. Whose bill was it?
Representative Morgan.
All right. I question that. Okay.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. House Bill 1006, I think is actually pretty simple. There's already a rule in place, and we're putting this in the code. And essentially what it does is allows for school districts who have students who take online courses and complete them to, number one, assess them with the end of course test and allow them to move on to the next course. So this, if you will, is like the next step to move on when ready. And that's it.
Any questions? All right. Representative Dixon?
At the proper time, I'll make a motion.
All right. Well, do you want to say anything, Representative Maxwell?
Yes, sir.
I'll take your amendment in a minute. Okay, Representative Maxwell.
Thank you, sir. Okay, how are we handling that now? If they take the online courses, they pass them, are we still requiring them to just sit there and take the course again?
What's happening right now is for districts that are not aware of this new rule that the board has passed, they are sitting in classes waiting for the semester to be over. So if they complete the course, if they're in social studies, they complete the online course, because they're not able to move on, they're just sitting there in classes. So this would allow them to take the end of course test, move on to the next course.
Okay, I hate to be, another question?
Yes, sir, because I want to ask one, too.
I
Go ahead.
If they don't understand that we've already got a rule in place that they can do that, if we put this in law, how are they going to understand that anymore, I guess?
Well, certainly there are two reasons. Number one, we're one of 9 states in the country that has no laws on the books about seat time waivers. And so number one, we want to make sure that we put this in the law. Number two, we also know that it carries more strength, and we want to make sure that districts are aware of the law. And so by the nature of the work that we do, they'll also become more aware of it.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I'd like to have Representative Nick. Now, I may be misunderstood, but I understood in your bill, 186, that there was a move on when ready clause.
Really, I think that was part of Representative Jan Jones' bill.
Yeah.
But that was not online courses.
Okay,
That had to do
but-
with a student going on to take college courses. We're
Okay,
strictly
okay,
talking about
okay,
online courses in this
okay.
bill.
Well, good. This is good.
What's the rule then that you said the state board had that they don't understand?
Well, it is new, and districts were not aware that it existed. And so
Well-
this clarifies.
What does that rule say?
I'm sorry, I don't have it on me, but essentially it allows for waivers for districts to do exactly what we're codifying.
I mean,
Do I have anyone from the State Department out there that can address that? Can't believe they didn't.
I guess the problem I have is, even though I was ready to make a motion, you see what happens when you keep talking? Rules are much quicker and easier to change. Once you put it into code, if there's a problem, you've got a much more lengthy process to get something fixed. If there's already something in DOE rules that deals with this,
It is, Mr. Chairman, but it's not very clear. Districts are not aware of it, and we also need to have a law on the books that's very clear about seat time waivers.
we can certainly have DOE clarify things for them.
We could, but we also need to make sure that this is consistent beyond whatever board is in place at the time, because those rules could always be changed as well.
All right. Do I have any other questions? Any other questions? Representative Tanner?
Just a follow-up question. At the subcommittee, did DOE make any comments or have anything to add to this?
They did not, but I've been in constant communication with them. And any question that I've had, they've been very clear about they are not in any way opposed to this bill.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other question? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move due pass.
I have a motion to do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. All right. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Anybody opposed? Okay, do pass. It's yours. Go through
Thank
it.
you.
All right. All right, wait a minute now. Wait, just wait more. Reverend Dixon, go ahead and tell us. Go ahead and tell us. Would you like to reconsider Representative Lindsay's bill?
When this comes to the floor of the House, if it comes to the floor of the House, I think we need to really clarify with DOE.
Well, my instruction is going to be, I'm going to talk with, I plan to talk with him tomorrow. So we'll do that, okay. Any other questions? Thank you. Y'all have a good, whatever you're doing tomorrow, have a good one.